Hey, Darksteel here, coming to you from inside my office here in Rowanwood. If you're not sure what Rowanwood is, be sure and check us out at rowanwoodart.com. Be sure and read the blog while you're there. Today, I thought I'd do something kind of fun using this, as you can probably guess by looking at the thumbnail of my video. It says Tumbling Tower Game, and I was looking around. I always try to find new and creative things that I haven't seen other people do yet, and that's getting harder and harder to do. But I was at the dollar store the other day, and I saw these, and so I grabbed them. I grabbed a couple of them, hoping that this works well as a knife handle material. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Now, I was a little bit disappointed because when I went to open them, see here on the box, there's two different colors of blocks. Turns out that one of those colors, there we go, is just painted on. And so it's going to end up looking, well, like the side of the box here, where you see that it's all one color. My thought was that the wood grain, see how they stacked them different? The wood grain, if I put it in a pattern, should still create a cool pattern, and I might even flame paint it and then put a coat over it or something. So this is all experimental. I don't know what I'm necessarily going to do until I do it, and you're going to come along with me for the ride. Okay, so since I thought that the brown might interfere with the gluing process, I didn't know if it would make it so that it wouldn't have as good of a bond. I actually opened up a second box of these, and I pulled out just the unpainted ones, because while I will at some point sit down and sand all of these to get all the paint off of them, I thought I'd save us a little bit of time, well, save me a little bit of time, and just work with the already clean ones. And so I'll just set these aside for now. And now to start gluing and stacking. Probably way overdoing the glue, but the nice part is that it'll fill in all of the gaps and everything this way. And since I'm going to sand off the bulk of the outside, I don't actually care if it like glues to the paper or anything like that, because that's going to come off in the final product. And there you have it, the messiest glue job I've ever done, and the messiest handle I've ever made. But I'm just going to leave this to dry and let it set up, and then we'll work from there. But now we're off to the blacksmith shop. I thought that since we were going to go ahead and have an experimental handle, we might as well have an experimental blade, too. I've never worked with stainless before, but I was given this piece of stainless to see what I could make out of it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece out of this, and I'm going to draft in some holes for our handle, and this will be the tang. I'm going to do a hidden tang on that tower set handle, and then I'm going to draw this out a little bit and shape it by forging it, and should end up with a stainless steel tower game handle dagger. Okay, so I have a ton more polishing up to do, but so far I've got this just about ready to go. It says 12-hour dry time, so I'm going to go ahead and pick this back up tomorrow. And I've got this. For those of you who wonder why I did the handle that way with the little notches, the hole is for the pin that's going to go through the wood and hold that in place, but also when I cover this in epoxy and slide it into the hole I'm going to put in this, the epoxy is going to fill in these little divots and it's going to give it a stronger hold. So it's just to give this give it teeth to hold on. But like I said, 12-hour dry time, so I'm going to have to pick this up tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'll probably just do some polishing on this with sandpaper. Okay, so I had noticed a little tiny line in the blade and thought that it was just a hammer mark or something that I was going to work out. And when I was filing away on this, the file caught just the very edge of that line and peeled it back, revealing that it was a fold in the metal where it had folded over while I was hammering it. And so I've got a little bit more work on shaping and cleaning that up, but I'm happy to have found it and not, sold it to somebody who then would break it or something. And so just kind of reason I'm adding this to the video is just kind of a word of warning. Kind of keep a close eye on what you're doing. If you're trying bladesmithing or anything, then keep an eye on those little lines, because sometimes they're cracks, sometimes they're delaminations, and sometimes, like this case, it's a fold in the metal, and that can cause problems later on down the line. Okay, so I was able to get the mark out of the end of that and polish it all up, and so that's looking pretty good, and I'm ready to go on that. The glue is set and ready, and I've even got my measurements already drawn out to start making that a handle. Plus, I used the remainder of the blocks to build this, so I think my talent speaks for itself. You'll notice that I skipped a bunch of the drilling process because it was boring. Get it? Boring. I'm sorry. Now I need to make sure that my hole is lined up. There we go. And now I'm going to roll. I've just got this nail that I'm using as a pin, and when I grind it down, it won't look so much like a nail anymore. And that's a pretty quick, easy trick you can do. And there we go. Stuffed that right through the hole. It's coming out the other side there. And that is well in place, and now we leave it to dry. And your final product is this. I've got some pictures, here you go, that show off a little bit closer view. I realize it's not the prettiest thing I've ever done, certainly not the ugliest thing I've ever done, but I realize it's not the beautiful thing that I even set out to make. And that's okay, because what I think it is I think it's still a work in progress. I've still got some sanding left to do. I've still got to wait for a little bit of wood filler that I kind of put in around the gap here, because there's a little tiny gap right where the blade goes in. I've got a little bit of cleaning up to do, and then I was thinking I'd do, out of the same materials, do a sheath that would slide over this and come kind of match up with this one. And I think that would really kind of make it a better product than what it is now. And so I'll probably do that. If I figure out exactly what I want to do there, I'll most likely make a video, and whether or not I make a video, I'll be posting pictures of the final product on my social media, so you can check it out there. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.